War. War never changes. War is always about loss of life, innocent lives having troubles, and destruction of property and lives as well, and just the struggle of surviving. And in this game, The Grizzled, you are soldiers fighting the trench wars of the First World War and just trying to survive this seemingly endless war. And it is an abstract game, but it does it in a strange way, which actually makes the theme bleed through. So it is hard to explain it just by talking about it. I will show you, and maybe just maybe I'll be able to tell you, or you'll understand how the game functions, not as a game itself, but also as a theme. So let's find out. The Grizzled. Can friendship be stronger than war? We'll see.
Hello.
So, soldier, welcome to the battlefield, or welcome rather. This game is about surviving the war. So we have two decks here, cards, and what you want is to remove all these cards here and have this visible and have no threats left. And this deck, if this goes empty, you have a monument. So it means you all died, but at least you still have a monument to remember you by. But that's not the real goal. You want to survive this war. So each player will have their own characters. This is Ansel Perrin. I don't know how to say French names. And they have one thing they are strong against, one threat. And they can only be used once most of the time. So let's find out how this game actually plays. In each round, there will be one player who is the commander. He will choose the threat level for each mission. So the threat level will indicate how many cards each player will get. So you draw cards from this deck, the one with the dove. So let's say the threat level is 2. So each player gets 2 cards, like so. And in this way we'll empty this deck, which is nice. We want to empty it. The problem is though, you also want to empty your hand. And in your hand you might have a hard knock card, the one with the lightning. It's a personal effect, a personal threat. So as long as this is in play, the winter is a threat for the entire group. Otherwise, you have this. This is also winter in this case, and an icon on the top, which indicates a threat. So both the icon and the background is a threat. So right now we have actually in play winter and winter. So I'll play this trauma here on myself, and the next player will play his card. So the problem isn't that we have cards we need to drop out, but it is the way it is done. This is the battlefield. So on your turn, you have to do something. You can either pass, you can use your special lucky ability, you can play a card, or you can hold a speech if you have that option. So if you play a card, you add it to the battlefield, if it's one of these cards. Otherwise, it's one of these cards, the hard knocks, you play on yourself. Right now we have one knight card and one gas mask on the battlefield. And this card is added, we have another knight card and a new icon. Suddenly we have 3 knights. The mission has failed. And when failing a mission, we take all the cards here in the battlefield, we add it on here, on the dove, which we don't want. In addition, each round we always add 3 cards here, so you have a time pressure as well. But if the cards in total in the hands of all players are greater than 3, we will add that many cards instead. So if you still have a lot of cards left, which you don't want, we add those to the dove, even worse. So, and then we shuffle these, and things gets worse and worse and worse, because the hard knocks that are in front of each player, they remain in play. So you don't want to fail a mission, you want to succeed them. So how do you succeed a mission? Well, you pass. If all players pass by using these pass markers here, we succeed the mission, unless it's actually failed. And when we succeed, we take all the cards in the battlefield and take them out of the game. And thus making this deck here with the dove smaller and smaller. And woohoo, that's what we want. When you pass, you play one support token. These support tokens have right or left, right, 1 or 2 depending on how many players you are. This, and when all players are passed, we flip them all and we send it in the direction we have indicated. So I will send this to the right. If one player has more support tokens, well, more new support tokens than any other, they are able to either remove up to 2 of the traumas they have in front of them, or flick back their special ability. I haven't said what it does, but it doesn't really matter because you really want one player to receive more support than any other. And then there's this problem you have. Yeah, you can't talk about what you have on your hand. You cannot communicate in any way what support token you are supposed to play. So you do see that this player, he could use the benefit of removing those cards in front of him, but this player could also get this ability. What do you want? And what are the other players thinking? And the game really simulates the struggle here. What cards can you play safely? Which card should you play? What are the other doing? Are they going to add a safe card? You have a card with a trap on your hand. You should remove it because the more cards you have on the hand, the more cards are added from the monument deck. And the game really brings forth the struggle. And what adds to the element here is the graphics. I didn't care much for the graphics at first. It seemed like bad artwork, but actually it works very well. This is kind of like a grizzled artwork, if you might say. It's dirty and it's non-comfortable and it's supposed to feel that way. So when you add a threat, you have a bullet here which doesn't seem appealing and a background which really does not feel appealing, and the night phase with elements here in the background which seems dark and unattractive, and that is the general idea of the game. It is unattractive. You don't want to be here. You don't want to have this area or look at it, especially the gas mask and the whistles, the noises and everything. It's just awful, and that is the purpose of the graphics. And when you play it, well, at least for my sake, I really felt that this added to the element of the game. It makes things harder and dirtier, and well, it just doesn't appeal to me. And that in that way it does appeal to me because it works. One thing though, the hard knock cards, they have text here which are actually used in the game, and I really don't care for that text. It should be more clearer, especially when another player has it and I want to know what they have. But when you can't read it, it kind of defeats the purpose. You want to be able to read the text that actually does something in the game. The game is about war, and just to add to the pain of the game, the artist of this game, he was one of the victims of the Charlie Hebdo attack in Paris in January this year. So it kind of strikes you, doesn't it, to know this. But of course, this game is not about terrorism, it's not about freedom of speech or anything, but it does add to the effect that it's not a good thing to know this. Still, if that hadn't happened, this game and the graphics would still work just the same, and the function it has on you psychologically, at least me, is kind of striking. Well, there you have it, The Grizzled, a cooperative game, and can friendship be stronger than war? Well, not obviously, but still, can your friendship beat this game? That is the idea. And I was lucky, I met the designer of the game, and he gave me a personal reading. Make games, not war. And he drew a very nice barbed wire fence here, or heart rather. And well, this is a game I will keep, definitely. And I have played it many times, and I've seen many other people play it as well. It is a good game, actually. It's very, very hard to complete, but it's very good. You really feel the struggle here. What should you play? When should you play it? Can you beat this game? Come on, guys, sharpen up. So I've made mistakes myself, and if you have the hard knocks with the threats on front of you, let's see if I can find one here. Like this one. One person has this in front of him and is still in the battle, and I add a second gas mask to the center here. And come on, this is the third one here by my side. And of course he couldn't say that because he didn't know I had a gas mask on my hand, and he couldn't just say, remember guys, I have a gas mask. And the game just works very well. And the theme of the game also comes through very well. It's just hard, and the struggle is real, man. So The Grizzled is more than a game. It feels like war is bad, and that's the point, right? So as a game, as a cooperative game, it's very nice. And for two players, two players, not two. I didn't feel this game functioned at all, because you have a third player, a virtual player, and he adds a random support token either way. So you can of course manipulate what kind of tokens you're going to send him, but in the end it felt random, and I lost the interest in the game with two players. But with 3 or 4 or 5 players, wow, it becomes harder and harder. 5 players, well, just good luck. This game is good anyway. I highly recommend you trying it out and getting this. And it's interesting that Cool Mini or Not is actually one of the producers of this game, so they have a lot of other style games, but this one is a good game and at the same time an important game. And thumbs up from me anyway. I highly recommend the Grizzled. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope I see you again in the next episode of Takras Reviews. So, see you then.